Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is my WWE Elimination Chamber review, and yeah, uh, this is the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania, and I would have to say this was a pretty good pay-per-view overall. You know, there was some stuff that I really didn't care for, but I'm going to get into my review right now, and we'll start by talking about the Raw Elimination Chamber match, which kicked off the show. Now, I didn't necessarily think, that the Raw Elimination Chamber match should have kicked off the pay-per-view. I thought they should have started with the SmackDown one, because the lineup was weaker than the Raw one. But overall, the Raw Elimination Chamber match was pretty good. We had some crazy spots in this match, such as Kofi Kingston doing that tornado DDT to Dolph Ziggler on the chamber floor. That was a crazy spot. And I'm telling you what, the spots that Kofi did in that match, man, he's going to be one sore person in the morning. I'm telling you. He's going to get out of bed and he's going to be like, oh, damn it, I hate my job. But, I got to give credit to Kofi. He had some exciting spots in that match, and he was what I said he was going to be. He was going to fulfill the role of John Morrison in that match, and he did just that. R-Truth, I was surprised. He was the first guy eliminated from the match. I did not expect that, and he went quickly. Like, he was only in there for a few minutes before being eliminated by CM Punk, and, I wasn't expecting that. So, I guess creative didn't want Truth in the match that long or something, but, yeah, I was surprised to see that. And then we had Dolph Ziggler get eliminated by Chris Jericho, and I thought it was good for Jericho to, hit the ground running pretty much, and get a quick elimination. And then Jericho eliminated Kofi with the Walls of Jericho. We haven't seen Jericho finish someone off with his trademark submission hold in a long time, so that was good to see. And then when Jericho threw Kofi out the chamber, and then CM Punk hit him with a roundhouse kick, and then Jericho fell from the ring onto a cameraman, and then they wrote Jericho out of the match there, and I thought that was pretty good. It got Jericho out of the match without being pinned, so it didn't make him look weak, and so I have to give WWE credit on that one. I said in my preview and prediction show that I thought they were going to have Chris Jericho win, so it doesn't make him look weak, heading into the WrestleMania in the match with CM Punk. But what they did tonight was a good way to get him out of the match without making him look weak. So once again, all credit goes to WWE on that. And then the final two men were CM Punk and The Miz. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting Miz to be the final two, to be one of the final two guys in the match. I figured he would go midway through, but nah, he was in there with Punk. And then, of course, CM Punk beat The Miz to retain the WWE Championship. So overall, the Raw Elimination Chamber match, like I said, it was pretty good, exciting, fast-paced. There were some crazy spots in there. There was a couple sloppy moments as well, and there was a couple botches, like when Kofi and Punk started the match, and they were out on the chamber floor, and when Kofi was attempting a back suplex, Punk was supposed to counter it and land on his feet, but Punk instead landed on his knee, and I thought Punk could have been injured. He could have seriously fucked up his knee there, but Punk was fine, so that was good. But there was some sloppy moments in the match, but overall it was pretty good, and I'm gonna give this the match of the night. And then next we had the Divas Championship between Beth Phoenix and Tamina Snuka, and I'm glad WWE gave these two the time that I felt they needed to put on a good match. And Tamina, I think she proved that she's worthy of the push that WWE has been giving her as of late, and I see nothing but positive things in the future of Tamina Snuka. And I thought, she was going to win there for a second when she hit the Superfly Splash on Beth Phoenix. But Beth Phoenix ended up winning the match, as I predicted, and retained the Divas title. And then we had the big announcement from John Laurinaitis. Well, what was supposed to be the big announcement. He came out and then, he was going to make his big announcement. He said it was going to be the game changer and blah, blah, blah. Me personally, I thought it had something to do with Triple H, but that wasn't the case, because Alberto Del Rio made his return, and he started getting on Teddy Long's case, because they're doing this angle where John Laurinaitis is trying to take Teddy Long's job. Then Mark Henry came out, and he also bashed Teddy Long for suspending him. And then Christian returned, and he bashed Teddy Long. I felt the segment was a complete waste of time. It did nothing, and all it was to bash Teddy Long. Yeah, Del Rio and Christian returned, but it was a complete waste of time, and no one gave a damn, so, yeah. Typical WWE for you guys, but we'll move on here to the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match with Daniel Bryan, Big Show, Wade Barrett, Cody Rhodes, the Great Khali, and Santino Marella. And leading up to the match, they kept showing backstage segments of Santino training for the match, and I thought those were dumber than fuck. And I thought it was funny that they had the Eugene's theme music playing while he was doing his little training segments. I thought that was kind of funny. But anyways, the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match started slow, painfully fucking slow. And look, I'm gonna say this right now. Big Show, you need to retire, flat out. I mean, you made the match boring for everyone. I mean, the crowd was even hating the match to start. They were chanting boring, and yeah, I mean, come on, man. I mean, had Big Show not been in there and had Rhodes and Barrett started the match, then the match would have probably been okay, but Big Show, he made it boring, and everyone was just tuned out of the match, and I can't blame them. I was too. I'm like, this is, but yeah, it brought down everyone's mood, and yeah, but I have to give Big Show props on one thing he did, and that was when he broke into Daniel Bryan's pod during the match. I thought that was it definitely got the crowd going. And it was something different, something we never seen in the Elimination Chamber, and I have to give Big Show credit on that, but that's the only thing I'll give him credit for. The Great Khali being eliminated in like 20 seconds or whatever it was, well, it was more than 20 seconds, but he was the first one gone. He didn't last very long when he entered the match, and I felt WWE made the right move there, because quite frankly, Khali should have never been in the match to begin with, but Big Show eliminated him via the spear, and then the next one to go was the Big Show, as he was eliminated by Cody Rhodes, and I'm glad they had Cody Rhodes eliminate the Big Show, because I felt like either Barrett or Rhodes needed to stand out here in the match, and I'm glad they had Rhodes and Barrett teamed together to take down the Big Show. But what I didn't like is that right after that happened, Santino eliminated Rhodes. Oh, God. And then after Rhodes was after what happened there, I liked that they had Rhodes at least, get a measure of revenge there by hitting the crossroads on Santino. So that's something I can, I guess that's a redeeming factor there, but it's not much of a redeeming factor. But so the final three were Bryan, Barrett, and Santino. And then, Barrett was beating the hell out of Santino, and him and Bryan were back and forth. And then Santino eliminated Wade Barrett, but again, did not like that. So, but anyways, we're down to the final two participants, Daniel Bryan and Santino. And this was the moment the match got hot. The crowd was on the edge of their seats, I think there were some people in the crowd who actually wanted Santino to win. But Daniel Bryan, he ended up retaining his championship after he put Santino in the label lock. Santino tapped out. Bryan's still the champion. And thank the Lord that Santino is not the world champion. Because, in my personal opinion, I know people might not like what I have to say, but this is just my opinion. If Santino had won the world title, I felt like it would have been a disgrace to the championship. And now before you leave your hate comments, please hear me out. Even though that some of you find Santino funny and entertaining, that's great and all, but would you rather have someone who is a serious character be the world champion, or someone who's a comical character be the world champion? And plus, Santino, he's been a jobber. He's been on the low card for the last couple years now. So would it be that realistic for him to win the world championship? A low card jobber becoming the world champion? I don't think that's good for business. And honestly, my friend Beatrice Domino explained to me, before the pay-per-view, it would have been hilarious for people's reactions, to see the people react, and it would be mostly negative, but, it would be a comical moment, for Santino to win the championship. And obviously he wouldn't keep it. He would lose, before WrestleMania and all that stuff, but I get her point, but I don't like Santino. I don't. I used to like Santino. I used to think he was funny and entertaining back in 2007, 2008. But his character's just become stupid now. I don't find him funny. I don't find him entertaining. He's a decent worker. I just don't buy into him, and I cannot take him seriously. And he's damn sure not World Heavyweight Championship material. But if I think WWE will ever go in a serious direction with Santino, I personally think it's too late for that. I really think it's too late for WWE to go into a serious direction with Santino. But that's just how I feel about it, So, if you wanted to see Santino be world champion, great, that's just whatever floats your boat, But anyways, after the match, Sheamus came out, and I think he's made it very clear who he's going to challenge at WrestleMania as he attacked Daniel Bryan. So, yeah, I think we're going to see Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship, but it seems like Randy Orton will make his way into that match as well, because he now has unfinished business with Daniel Bryan, because, Orton was supposed to compete in the Chamber tonight, but Daniel Bryan kayfabely gave him that concussion, so that will give Orton grounds to get into the match. But we'll have to see how that situation pans out. And then we had a filler match added in. It was for the United States title. It was Jack Swagger and Justin Gabriel. This match was made by SmackDown GM Teddy Long after there was a backstage confrontation between Swagger and Gabriel. And it was a stupid segment, but I'm not going to talk about it, because quite frankly, I don't care about it. So, but anyway, to set up this filler match, and Jack Swagger won via submission, the ankle lock. He retains the United States title. It was good to see Justin Gabriel get on the pay-per-view. I wasn't expecting him to be anywhere on this card, to be perfectly honest, but WWE needed something to kill time, and that's what they went with. But other than that, I don't really care for the match. But we'll move on to the main event between John Cena and Kane in an ambulance match. And the question was Cena going to rise above hate, or was he going to embrace the hate here? But, a lot of people had speculated that, that Zack Ryder was going to show up and screw John Cena, or he was going to show up and get involved somehow. And there was even rumors that The Rock was going to show up as well. But neither of those people showed up, and it was just a straight-up one-on-one battle between John Cena and Kane. And me personally, I thought it was a good match. I don't think there was really that much to complain about. It was better than their match at the Royal Rumble, and it was a fitting end to their rivalry, it seems. So, and then John Cena won the match after he hit the Attitude Adjustment off the top of the ambulance and through Kane into an area of the stage where they have like equipment stored and whatnot. Excuse me. And then Cena pulled Kane out of there and put him in the ambulance, and he won the match. Now, I can't really complain about the match. I didn't think it was bad, but some of you are like, oh, this was predictable. John Cena wins again, overcomes the odds, blah, 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 same old story. Look, you might find it predictable, but you see the thing is, WWE has a John Cena versus The Rock match to build for in 6 weeks. So, do we really need a Kane to stick around? No. So, I can't bash the decision here for John Cena to beat Kane. Now, me personally, in my prediction show, I thought Kane was going to win. That's what I personally thought. But that didn't happen, and I'm satisfied with the way WWE booked the match. So, that concludes the review. My rating of the pay-per-view, I'm going to have to give it a 7.5 out of 10. It wasn't a bad show, and like I said, the Raw Elimination Chamber match was the match of the night. The low point of the show for me was the Laurinaitis segment. It was a waste of time, and I guess a surprising moment of the whole night was the Divas title match, because no one expected WWE to give these two women enough time to showcase what they can do, but I'm glad they did. So yeah, I rated a 7.5. Pretty good show, and we'll see what happens in the 6 weeks we have until WrestleMania. But I'm going to get out of here, guys, and subscribe to this channel and my main channel. Follow me on Twitter, and good night.